Welcome to the Plus Tech Learning module, Google Forms 1. Google Forms is a tool within the Google Docs suite. It's a great tool for teachers. You can use it for your own professional practices, or there are many different teaching applications that you can use it with students. To get started, go to your CPS email account and locate the link to Drive at the top. You can also go directly to Drive. This is where your Google Docs are located. And to get started with a Google form, you click on this red button, Create, and drop down to Form. Google by default starts you with a form that has several questions for it, and it asks you to answer a few different questions. This top section here is only available in Google Apps, not the regular Google suite. So the first choice is to allow users to edit responses. And at times you may want your users to go in to change their answers to forms that they've already submitted. Sometimes you may not want that, so you can decide on that. You can also decide if you want to require Chicago Public Schools sign in to view the form. At times you may only want CPS people to see the form. At other times you may be soliciting information from parents or other sources and you don't want that to be required. Also, you can select to automatically collect respondents' CPS usernames as well. So it's really up to you how you select this. And as you go from there, you can decide if you want it to be available in the outside world and so on. Now, as you get started, the first thing you'll want to do is title your form. So you just put in a title, and Google automatically saves as you go along. The title here will be the title for the document, so that's how you'll locate it later on. There's also a section here where you can add any little help text that you want for your users to see. So you might say something like, please fill out this form this week, or by a certain deadline, or give them a little bit more information about it. You can also go to the top right here if you know you have to walk away and it may not be saved, and you can save it at that point. So pause the video for a little bit and get started with a form here so that you can practice with me. Start the form and put the title and any help information, and keep the form ready so that we can work on it a little further in a few minutes. Now let's take a look at the different question types that you can have within Google Forms. To activate a question, you simply put your mouse over it. By default, Google starts with 2 questions, so let's get started with that. If you come over here, you'll see that you have 3 choices. The little pencil icon will allow you to edit that particular question. The 2 pieces of paper indicate that you can copy a question, and that's quite useful if you anticipate having a number of similar questions. Or if you would like to delete a question, you can hit the trash can. So let's select Edit for the question. The first portion here is the question title, or it may not be a question, it may be some other information you need. So you put in the question or what you need there. Then you can also put some help text in there, such as please enter your full name. When you get down to question type, you'll see that you have a variety of questions that you can select. Text means that you anticipate the answer being a very short answer. You could also select paragraph text, which allows for a longer answer from your respondents. Multiple choice questions will allow the respondent to answer only one question out of a list. So you just keep typing your responses that you have there. You can add other as well. If you select checkboxes, the respondent can select multiple answers within your list. To choose from a list, this will give the user a drop-down menu instead of seeing all the answers listed on the form at once. For a scale, you can choose a number from 1 up to 10. And then you create labels for the first one and the last one in the range. So it might be the lowest, the highest, the least important, the most important, and so on. So you decide how you want to label them. And the last question type is grid. In that question type, you create a series of columns and rows according to however many you need. You can adjust the number of columns to what you need. And so the respondent can select from that grid pattern. So let's go back to the text for this one. And you have two more choices to make there. One is that you can make it a required question. If you make it a required question, the user will not be able to submit the form without answering that question. Be cautious with that. There are times where it's mandatory to have an answer, but there's also times where you may not some people may not want to answer a particular question. For example, perhaps you're asking for volunteers for something and not everybody wants to volunteer. You wouldn't want to make that a required question because you'd want them to be able to skip it. When you have the entire question the way you'd like it, you simply select Done. And then you go to the next question. For the next question, this may not be intuitive to you, but you do have to put the mouse on top of it to see the interface here to edit it. So to do the second question, you just hit that pencil and again, type in your question, your type of question, and be sure always to say done when you're finished. So let's pause the video here for a little bit so that you can try that and maybe get a form going. To continue to build your form, go to this Add Item icon at the top left, pull it down, and select the next question that you would like. And as you go through the form, just continue to add items and complete your entire form. When you're done, you may want to go ahead and customize the form a little bit further by adding a theme. If so, click on this theme button here to see a selection of the themes that you'll have. By clicking on the Themes tab, you'll be able to bring up a variety of dozens of themes that are available to you and several different windows. You can select Next to see other ones. When you have found a theme that you like, you simply click on it and view it, see if you like the way that it lays out, and if so, this is very important, hit Apply. And although you won't see it on the edited version, when you do go to the live form, you will notice it there. Now let's talk a little bit about how to edit the confirmation for your form. The confirmation is located under More Actions, Edit Confirmation at the top right. The confirmation is what the user sees when he or she submits the form. So by default, the confirmation says your response has been recorded. You can customize that in any way that you want to. Sometimes you may want to add contact information or give them an information about a date that they can expect to hear back from you. Or just anything that you might need to do to customize it. And it's sometimes advisable to do that because the users often question about whether the form submitted correctly, and this way they know that it did. You can also elect to publish the response summary if you want everybody to see how many responses have come in so far on a particular item. And you can also require viewers to sign in with their cps.edu account to view the summary if you'd prefer that. So when you're finished, you hit save, and anytime a user submits the form, they will get that information. Now, on this interface here, if you go down to the very bottom, you can see the link that says you can view the published form here. So I'm going to click on that. And that will bring up the actual finalized form. This is the URL that you want to give to your users to be able to access the form. Now that you have created your form and you have users submitting their answers on the form, you'll want to know how to access your form. So you can get to your form by going to Drive. Anytime you're logged into Google, you just click on the Drive from any of the tools and then locate your form on the list. By clicking onto that, it will open a spreadsheet. As users have submitted their forms, this spreadsheet will populate with their answers. So you can always get to the form and see what their answers will be. Now, one helpful hint for you to help you to know when users are submitting forms is to alter the notification rules. So I'm clicking on Tools at the spreadsheet, going to Notification Rules, and it'll bring up an interface that you can use to let Google know when you would like to uh, be notified and how you would like to be notified about any changes to the form or anytime somebody is submitting. You can get emailed daily or right away, depending on your needs. This is often helpful just to save you from going back and forth to see what information is there. This completes Module 1 for Google Forms. Be sure to go to Module 2 for Google Forms to learn some more advanced features and other ways that you can make your forms even more effective for your students. Thank you.